folks from DDC who helped oversee this beautiful work. Also joined by Senator Brad Hoylman, Assemblymember Deborah Glick, Councilmember Rosie Mendez, Community Board 3 District Manager Susan Stetzer, William Kelly from the Village Alliance. Is he here? Oh, okay, good to see you. And also the Chief Communications Officer for Cooper Union, Justin Harmon. It's terrific to have you all here. We are very... Oh, I'm sorry, I did not have you in my notes. What's your name? Toby. Oh, good to see you too. Community Board 2 Chair as well. We are very excited to be here today to announce the expansion and the rebirth of Astor Place, this beautiful public space. And also to announce something very, very fun. Obviously, you can see behind us a newly restored cube, which I've now learned was actually called the Alamo Cube. And you may not know the history of this. Back in 1967, Mayor John Lindsay had an art contest around New York City. There were a bunch of public art installations done. They were supposed to last 6 months, but people loved the cube so much that it stayed here for another basically 50 years. And now, thanks to our partners at the Parks Department, when we did this plaza renovation, they also restored and renovated the cube, and I hope we'll all get a chance to spin it. I have a particular soft spot for this neighborhood. I actually used to sell books right in the spot that I'm standing in, back in the day when you could make money selling books on the street. And my first job out of college was actually at Wanamaker Place. Back when you got out of college, you went and worked in publishing. But you know, those were the good old days. This is obviously, though, a wonderful spot for history, right at the crossroads of the East Village, you know, a neighborhood known for its art, its music, its culture, its political activism. You've got Cooper Union here. You have some famous, entertainment venues nearby. It used to be CBGB's and the Public Theater, the theater that if you were smart, you went and saw Hamilton at back when you could still get a ticket. And of course, we're near NYU, and I have to just say one thing I discovered in preparing for this, that my boss, the mayor, actually a former NYU alum, still comes back to this neighborhood to get his hair cut. So anyways, lots of important things happening here. But we're so pleased today to open this public space. We've now got, and I know my colleague will talk a bit about it, 40,000 square feet of open space. Obviously, we were able to take this area, reclaim some of it from the automobile, make it safer and more inviting. This was a big project, and I know, looking at some of the elected officials and the community members, I know it took a long time and there was a lot of disruption, and I thank them for their patience, but now we will have beautiful public space, new benches and trees, water mains replaced underneath. And of course, I just want to note that the partnership that DOT and DDC have had, we have, over the last decade, reclaimed 27 acres worth of basically roadway space for pedestrian plazas, which is the equivalent of over 20 football fields. And I think it's been a wonderful partnership between us, and thank you to you and your team, Fenny. I want to thank some of my DOT team, Emily Wiedenhoff, David Breen, Jennifer Lung, and Neil Gagliardi, as well as our Manhattan Borough Commissioner Louis Sanchez and his predecessor, Margaret Forgione, who is now my agency's Chief Operations Officer. I think this kind of an effort took a whole big team, and I'm going to give them a hand. I want to give both our teams a big hand. And now with that, again, I will turn it over to my partner, Commissioner Fenny Peñamor.
Thank you, Polly. It's actually quite nice to be here to celebrate. I think you have to say this is a beautiful day, and that means nature is with us in this celebration. And here, as we complete this project that contributes to a healthier, safer, and more vibrant, equitable New York, I think this is very important. This is something for the public, made by the government, and it's something that really adds to the wonderful assets that we have in this neighborhood. The Department of Design and Construction is proud to partner with DOT, the Parks Department, DP, our elected representatives and local community groups on a project that has reclaimed for the people 42,000 square feet of new space. That's almost a full acre of new space for pedestrians that we managed to carve out right here in the heart of Manhattan. That is quite remarkable if you think about it. A full acre reclaimed in the East Village, along with a new traffic pattern to make the streets safer. That includes two brand new plazas, this one called Alamo Plaza and the new Village Plaza to the south of the Cooper Park along 3rd Avenue. And two expanded plazas, the Subway Plaza across the street to the north and Cooper Park just to the south of Cooper Union. We also expanded existing sidewalks throughout the area where possible. All this new space will hold 1,000 square feet of new plantings and new trees with built-in irrigation systems, over 100 new bike racks, new lighting, and new benches and water fountains. We also better manage stormwater with 6,700 square feet of permeable pavement and new bioswales. And beneath all, we have installed new water mains and sewers and reconstructed the streets with new curbs, sidewalks, and pavement. And of course, the much beloved Alamo sculpture has been restored, which we see in the back. I know that you are all looking forward to seeing it, and so are we. There are many people that we have to thank. Of course, first of all, Mayor de Blasio for his support of a healthier and more sustainable city. Our partners agency and our partner here, DOT Commissioner Trottenberg, because of her really vision, I think it's really making a mark in the whole city. Also, Commissioner Mitch Silver from Parks and Commissioner Vinny Sapienza from DEP. And then our partners, including Community Board 2 and 3, the Village Alliance, the Grace Church School, and Cooper Union. Elected officials, Deputy Manhattan Borough President Matthew Washington, I don't know if Matthew's here, no? Councilmember Rosie Mendez, Senator Brad Holliman, and Assemblymember Deborah Glick. But I also would like to thank the people that actually work day in and day out in this. Our Deputy Commissioner Eric McFarlane, our Associate Commissioner Thomas Foley, our Assistant Commissioner Shah Jerome, our Executive Director John DeLucia, our Deputy Director Manish Rana, our Engineer in Charge Chris Oneyi, our Resident Engineer Madeline Slovic, our Architect Timothy Lynch, our Director George Franz, our DDC Legal Community Outreach Administrative Procurement teams. You know, without a good back office, you cannot actually do the construction that we're doing here. Finally, there was our contractor, Triumph Construction, and our consulting firm, Case Engineer and WXY Architects. And of course, the firm that completed the restoration of the Cube, Aegis Restauro. Please join me in giving them a round of applause for all their hard work. Thank you to everyone. We should be very proud to have joined together to improve this neighborhood and to improve the health and well-being of the thousands of people who live and work in this area every day. Let's continue our progress throughout the city. Thank you.
Thanks, Manny. Well, we have many distinguished speakers here today, but I want to start first with our local councilman, Rosie Mendez, who's been such a great leader and champion in this community and obviously such a great partner in this project. Come on, Rosie.
Good morning, everyone. So 11 years ago, I was coming back from City Hall. I was skipping back because I was the council member elect. And I got off at Astor Place, and I see then Commissioner Iris Walenshaw and a group of people spinning the Cube, because the Cube had been taken out for some repairs. So it is exciting to be back here 11 years with our wonderful new commissioner and my friend, Polly Trottenberg, and my colleagues here to spin this Cube once again. And I just need to tell this story about several weeks ago when Brad Holman was there. We were at a press conference. Several buildings on 11th Street are being destroyed to become a hotel. And in the middle of all of this and losing all these rent-stabilized apartments, one constituent comes up to me and is like, "Rosie, remember the Alamo. You need to make sure we bring back the Alamo." I said, "We are." He's like, "No, don't be telling me that. Just make it happen." So here it is. Thank you, everyone.
All right, another terrific partner and leader for this community and worked so hard for us up in Albany, Senator Brad Hoyland.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. I'm State Senator Brad Hoyland, proud to represent this neighborhood and very jealous of Councilmember Mendez's constituent delivery operation. I mean, in a week's time, you got that thing reinstalled. but I am really, really grateful to the commissioners and to your respective agencies. I just want to say, as the former chair of Community Board 2, I want to give a shout out to my Community Board colleagues, both CB2 and CB3, our district managers, Susan Stetzer and Bob Gormley. They have worked for over a decade with the council member, with the Department of Transportation, in making sure that not only was this area restored and more public space added, which is a terrific outcome, as well as the Alamo sculpture reinstated, but that there was community engagement every step of the way. That might have been why it took over a decade, but I think the outcome is brilliant, and thank you all for your work.
Well, sometimes it takes a while to get something just right, but we won't apologize for that. You're right to mention, Senator, how important community engagement has been in this very active and extraordinarily thoughtful community, and having that partnership, I think, is part of what's made this project so special. And again, working with some of our elected officials, and now another terrific partner on this, Assemblywoman Deborah Glick.
Thanks very much. I'm extremely happy to be here. There was some thought that this might happen yesterday, but I'm really glad that we're here today. It's not only, I want to thank the agencies that were involved, because, you know, too often people think that government doesn't get anything done. And the reality is that government gets lots of things done, but it takes time because there are a lot of moving parts. And we need people who have intelligence and skill and the willingness to cooperate in order to get it done. So this is a great day, wonderful space. One thing that's important is that we will return an area that has been for generations a really gathering place and a vibrant street life, and this is going to enable that to come back. And we're also grateful for all of the other minor repairs like water mains, because that's pretty crucial. It's the work you don't see that's also important. But this is terrific, and it takes, you know, a lot of people, and I congratulate all of the people who work in the agencies and all of the people in the community board that put their time and energy into being the eyes and ears of the community to make certain that this happened in the right way. And I want to thank all of the people in the neighborhood that put up with an incredible amount of disruption. And we live in a time and location where every block is under construction. So to have this actually come back is terrific. And I see that we have some folks who've beautified the area with unique mosaics also being represented. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being here.
History #1 in the city. They called it a new streetscape. And out of $16 million, you come up with less than $20,000 for me and my crew to work for 6 months in the hot sun, while we have spectacular mosaics coming out this week to the police department, in tribute to the police department and the fire department. I will mosaic the entire city, and you'll all be dead long after I'm still standing. I've been out here 30 years. I gave up $3 million to do this, and you're going to ignore me? I don't think so. Oh, well, I was having my own best. Thank you, guys. I had no choice but to do this. Come back in a week and see what we got. Tribute to the police department with every cop that's been shot out here. That piece of work's going to restore order and law and order in the country, period. I've been trying to get this in all 400 schools in the city to restore discipline to your children, and maybe we'll have a better city for it. But I get no help after all of my country, and I'm crippled.
Sorry, I gotta call on some other folks to speak now.
Enjoy your day. Send your $2 here. We need it. Thank you.
Well, that's why I love this part of town. I would like now to call up our leaders from our two community boards, Community Board 3 and Community Board, Susan Stetzer and Toby Bergman. Come on up, say a few.
Thank you. First, I want to say my office is just a few short blocks away, and I'm in this area almost every day, and it just makes me happy to walk through here. It's very, very appreciated by the community. And I also want to acknowledge the years of work with the CB2 and CB3 Joint Task Force, but it wasn't just the community boards. We provided public meetings every month for the community. They came in and, went over every detail. So this is really very much a community plan. And last, I just want to say the years of construction worked for us, were made bearable because of our DDC liaisons. We went through a couple of them, some amazing people, and I'm very happy. Amelia, one of them, came back today. Thank you very much for your help.
So I think, people don't always appreciate what makes a project like this so difficult. And the most difficult thing about this project is that it spans 2 community boards. It's kind of inside baseball joke, but it's hard to work with 1 community board. It's much harder to work with 2 community boards. Probably 3 times harder. I'm obviously not going to repeat all the wonderful things that have been said today. I want to point out one thing. You're now standing in Community Board 2. Community Board 3 is across the street. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We will honor both community boards for their contributions. Although, yes, it's sometimes a challenging working with multiple community boards, you bring that much more local knowledge to the table, and we're always grateful for your partnership. I would now like to turn to the Village Alliance, another crucial partner, and call up William Kelly. I'd like him to say a few words. Where is he? Oh, there he is.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's really a pleasure to stand here today after so many years of work with the city on this project. And I think I may have it all beat, though. When I was a graduate school intern at the Department of Transportation 20 years ago, in the very first pedestrian projects group, we were looking at Astor Place and what to do here. So it's really, really incredible and rewarding to be here and to see how the program has really grown. And this is part of one of many new beautiful spaces in the city. As the city's plaza partner, we are tasked with maintaining this beautiful, great new public space for New York City. 3 years ago, we did an extensive community outreach program in which we looked to develop a vision for Astor Place and how to represent the neighborhood, its past, present, and future. And that's why we were spearheading projects like the restoration of Jim Power's mosaic poles. And there will be a dedication of those poles in a couple of weeks' time, so please stay tuned for that. But also pulling together at the Astor Alive Festival, in which we brought over 25 local arts groups out here for free performances, over 60 performances free to the public, and why we will continue to do programming that is committed to the neighborhood and keeping this a clean, safe, and beautiful environment in which everyone is welcome. I want to thank Team DDC for their years of work, our elected officials and community boards for spearheading this project and really giving us the feedback from day to day to keep these places beautiful. WXY Studio for their design vision, and really all of our local property owners, businesses, and residents who, like Cooper Union, Greats Church School, and everyone to name a few, who pledged to ensure that these new public spaces are a shining example of a community that can work together for public good. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I think you stole my last piece of paper there. I had my speaking order. No problem. That's not it either. Thank you. And by the way, thank you. I was remiss in mentioning thank you for pledging to be an ongoing partner in maintaining this beautiful space. We look forward to many years of working with you. And then another partner I'm happy to call up, Justin Harmon from Cooper Union, obviously the institution that has anchored this space for centuries now. I guess a couple centuries now.
Thanks very much. We've been here since 1859, and in fact, looking past the Alamo, the building, the foundation building that first housed the Cooper Union, when it was constructed in 1859, was actually the tallest building in the city. So we've seen a lot of change here, and this is an incredible new opportunity reconnect in many ways with the neighborhood that we value so much. This has been an extraordinary partnership in terms of the planning and all the efforts around construction. I've been at Cooper for about 3 years, but to see the complexity of the planning challenge that the city agencies have undertook, and that's been shepherded through our elected officials office and the community board, has been extraordinary. The amount of public input, including input from members of the Cooper community, has been very much appreciated. And just as somebody who's had to pick his way across the sidewalks for the last 3 years, to see the complexity of the construction challenge and to see the infrastructure when one takes up a sidewalk or a street in this neighborhood is really a humbling experience. So we want to say thank you to all of the planners and all of the workers who've made this possible. One of Cooper's most important roles is to provide public programming. We have exhibitions in both art and architecture that are free and open to the public. In our Great Hall, we have speakers on all the issues of the day, and that's been the truth since Abraham Lincoln came to speak here over 150 years ago. We're very proud of that tradition, and we see in these new pedestrian plazas an opportunity for our neighbors perhaps to slow down, to linger, to get a sense of the offerings that the Cooper Union offers, and to really engage with us in a meaningful way as part of the neighborhood. So we're very grateful to everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Justin. And I apologize, I was remiss. Is there someone here from the Grace Church who's going to speak? Okay, so here's the question. Are we taking questions first, or are we spinning the cube first?
We're doing it.
All right, I think we're spinning the cube first. All right. You better spin. Oh, all right. I'm going to cut a ribbon and then...
Give us a few minutes here. We're going to remove everything here and take it away for a quick ribbon cutting, followed by a spin.
They have the.
You got it stretched out. We're gonna move everything over here.
Morning, Claire.
Morning.
Just move it. We just need to clear the space. Yeah. Anyone who has questions?
Okay, you got the ribbon, right? Yes. Hey, Jared. Can you grab my helmet and my bag?
What are you gonna put up?
Council member, how are you?
Yeah, guys, come.
Yeah, can you push?
Come this way. Yeah, you too close
to the cube. They want to see the cube. Don't trip. And we're going to excuse me. You push it. You're really going to push it. Don't face this way. Susan, in there. Push. Going to work. Get to work. Oh, there we go. Hey. Put your back into it, though. Just 5 times. Who you got Disney? Uh-oh. It would have been a lot worse yesterday.
proud.
So crazy.